to shine tonight. We're going to shine a light on some great country music. And I really have been kind of spanning the globe to find some of the best indie country music that's going on right now. And I think it's kind of an interesting time to be a country artist because country music is taking on such a kind of a broad kind of genre, and it means different things almost to different people. So I know country music, everyone thinks Nashville, but let's face it, there are pockets of country music everywhere. And to my point, I'm bringing to you from Fort St. John, British Columbia, a real, as country as it gets. We're going to be talking to CC Brooks. Woo! The crowd.
Hey, Randy.
CC, British Columbia.
Yeah. First day of fall. It's beautiful.
And I don't know about you, I'm on the opposite side here in Pennsylvania, the United States, and it feels all of fall.
It just did yesterday. We just spent the weekend out camping, and I just celebrated my 30th birthday again. And well, I'm hopefully do it 3 times, but yeah. And then, beautiful sunny day on Friday, the 22nd. And then as soon as that solstice hit, it's like every leaf fell off the trees. And today it's cloudy and, you can feel it. Now we get to enjoy that beautiful fall weather that we experience. I'm sure it's the same in Pennsylvania.
I know. It's like all of a sudden, bam, it's fall, and I'm like, it's only September. I can't turn on the heat in September, And I'm like, blankets are out. And I'm like, can't turn on the heat. I can't turn on the heat.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to turn on the heat in our house till I turn off the heat in the pool. So that's the trade-off. As soon as we turn off the pool, then we can warm the house.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. So again, this is On the Ranch with Randie O'Neil. And it's interesting, I think, what's been happening in country music in the past few years. And I know when people think of country, they think of, Nashville, but it's all over the world. I mean, people are country artists. So what brings you to country music?
My family, definitely. My mother. My parents insisted that everybody in our family take 5 years of piano. That was a non-negotiable thing. My father wasn't a musician in any way, but he really wanted us to have music in our lives. And my mother was a fantastic piano player, guitar player, also accordion player. And by the time I was 14, Mom was driving me to a bar in my hometown. I was playing in a country band with two gentlemen from England, actually, and I was playing 6 nights a week, 4 hours a night, playing drums, and it was just kind of no wonder I didn't become a lawyer. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. So what for you? It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, and I mean, I spent my time. I certainly did I cut my teeth in the rock and roll world all the way through the 80s, and I wore my share of eyeliner and striped pants, and I teased my hair so much it just up and left. But
I'm trying to visual. I'm trying to get a visual here. Like,
yeah, well, you could trust me. You can Google it. It's out there. It's pretty horrendous, but yeah. So when I got back home to my hometown after a long career in rock and roll, I just went back to the basics and got a guitar and just started rebuilding the whole thing. And that was about 10 years ago. And that was culminated with an idea by my wife that we would look at a house in Nashville. And we were down there on a trip on a recording session. And within a year, she had found us a place. So we've had a place there for about 7 years now. So, you'd think that, and there's the contrast is vast. In the sense of Fort St. John, British Columbia is definitely a traditional country town, and you look at what's happening in country music, and it's everywhere. It's everything. It can be whatever you want it to be, really. I still feel that country music can be classified by strong melody, strong lyric. Those are the things that really outline a great country song. And because so many songs that I know based on my limited ability on the guitar, very few chords. It's the melody and the lyric that stands
Well,
out.
and that is what kind of separates, the power rock sound is just such a verse chorus for a country song where your rock songs are building with, pre-choruses, and
All
chorus,
sorts of things going on there, but
all kinds of
for
things.
a country song, yeah, for a country song to really work, the melody and the lyric
Hmm.
really is something. And of course, a unique voice is always something that makes people stand out as well. And there's just so
Yeah.
many great artists right now. The information's out there. There's so much inspiration. A lot of people complain about it because it's not what they're used to, or it's not what used to be. But it's music's evolving. It's always going to be,
Hmm.
and and there's room for everybody in the pool, from what I can see.
I know.
Just
I
don't
mean,
be.
it's an advantage to root for everyone because I could like your music, someone else's music. It's not like a true competition, right?
No,
Where
and
only one artist wins. I know all these award shows and American Idol and all that, but it's not a true competition. I like your stuff. I like a lot of other people's, and I listen to a lot of different. I just don't listen to one person over and over.
no, I'm thrilled. I'm just absolutely thrilled when a colleague of mine or somebody that I got to meet enjoys some success in this business. It's so far and few between, and of course, we all judge success differently. Um, my goals might be completely different than somebody that's younger, older than me. But when I see somebody gets out there and writes a great song and gets it heard, I'm so happy for them that there's no room in my heart for the jealousy that might have been there back in the day when I was in another genre, and you felt that by somebody else succeeding that they had diminished your chances because there was so many spots at the well, right? There's just
Right.
only so much room at the trough, and all the water is going to be drank up, and you've got worries about mortality and getting old, and missing your time or your moment. And I don't feel that way anymore. I just feel um, it's just an honor to be able to create music, and as long as I can do it, I think I think I'm a success, and I think anybody that's still doing it, I think they're a success. So I celebrate them all, and I wish them all the best.
And I think that's a great approach for a musician, is to really temper their success. If you're looking for Billboard, you're going to be unhappy like a lot of times, but if you just want to write a good song and have someone come up to you and it resonates with them, to me, that's a success as an artist, you know? And I think the
Oh,
internet
absolutely.
is yeah, I think the internet is a big game changer. Right now, there's a lot of people watching. We have Andrea, Lisa, Paul's watching on another site. So again, we have different ways to bring great music to different people.
Oh, but it's it's crazy. It's what's happening nowadays is beyond what anybody could comprehend, and with the inertia, and there's all sorts of conversations about what AI is going to do, and all these different things. And I don't know. I know when I sit down and I sit across from somebody, whether it be at a songwriter round or whether it's around a fire. I mean, that's what we were doing this weekend. It was just one guitar and a fire,
Uh,
and the guitar just goes around, and everybody gets a shot and plays the song. And when you hear that song that that person is really invested in, and it comes from the heart, it just doesn't get any better than that. And
yeah.
you can string those all in together into a performance, and then you see some of the greats of today, like Chris Stapleton, and the guys that are just these great singers, great songwriters, and you realize after you spend a little time getting around that they're everywhere. They're everywhere, and my involvement with big records has allowed me to meet so many different artists that I never knew existed, or independent people. I'm not a music fanatic. I don't spend time searching out stuff. I spend most of the time searching out the ability to write my own music. So I'm not a type of guy that's just constantly digging into the depths. And just through this indie record exploration, I've just discovered so many people that nobody would have heard of. It wasn't for people like yourself and the people at Hive and the people at Blast and all the people that are out there supporting that individual person. I think it truly does take a village to raise a child, and it takes a music community to raise an artist, and those sort of groups and teams are out there to help each other, and it's nice to be a part of one of them for sure.
Well, and I know, you're getting into an international country community, and it's all kinds of different genres when we're talking about some of the indie labels. Um, and it's funny, you and I were talking. It's like, what time zone are we meeting? Are you going forwards or backwards, or it opens some doors and it makes you think about some other things, like how big this world really is. And
I've got a really good friend. I got a really good friend, John Godfrey, and he lives over in Scotland, and he's a huge country fan and outlaw country, and just love listening to what he's doing. A lot of my friends right now, actually from Canada, there's a group of them are over there right now, and the UK is a huge country market right now. People are really loving it. France, Japan. It's truly out there to be discovered. In some places where it hasn't been as prevalent or as ingrained in the culture as it would be in the United States and certainly Canada. Some of this stuff is just coming out for this audience. So the future's very bright from what I can see.
No, I have to agree with you because, I look at my YouTube followings and it's like Brazil has more views than the United States. And then I have Spain, New Zealand is like one of my go-tos. Like I love them down in New Zealand and my friends in the UK. So, but it's interesting, the evolution of country music.
Yeah.
In the 80s, we had new technology and everyone was playing with that, and everyone buzzed their hair, and it was an alternative thing. And I think that's almost happening now in country music. It's kind of undergoing this kind of like growth spurt, and everyone's kind of defining what country music kind of means to them. So we do have some of your great music that I want to introduce to everyone who's watching now. The first one that we're going to be talking about is Burning Moonlight. So talk to me about Burning Moonlight.
Yeah, Burning Moonlight's pretty old. I did that back in about 2018, actually, and recorded in 2020 with a gentleman from Vancouver, British Columbia, John Ellis, and with a really great bunch of musicians. They're called they're called a couple of things, but sometimes they'll be called the New Yank Yorkies, or I think the Lion Bastards is another one they go by, but a real great West Coast talented musicians, and I'd realized that line had been used. It's not a unique line by any sense, but I thought maybe I can bring it some new life and put it in a context that would be a little more refreshing, and I tend to write more somber songs that you'll get to notice. It's quite easy for me to write a tearjerker or a broken heart ballad than it is to write a poppy upbeat song. So when I had this one, I felt it has to get recorded, and it's always a pleasure when the artists that work on your music grasp what you're trying to get. Sometimes that can get taken away from you in the studio in a matter of minutes when they actually take the track and they take the score. And these guys just, it's exactly what I heard in my head.
And people don't understand how important that is with your producer and the musicians that you have coming in, that you need that chemistry of people hearing the same thing. Otherwise they bring, your bass line runs amok and you're like, no.
Well, and it's so hard to get it back after that, because once they grab it, it's their own, right? So I've got tons of music that is sitting that needs to be redone because there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't sound like me. So this is one of those ones that when I first heard it on the radio for the first time, this is the first song as an original artist I ever heard on the radio, and I still get a goosebump about that moment. And it was playing very loud in a backyard 2 blocks from my house, and I was just coming home on a sunny day, and I opened my door and I just heard this lick, and I went, "Wow, that sounds a lot like that's some son of a bitch stole my song." Then I realized it was me, and I just sat there in the sunshine and listened to its entirety, and it's a pretty great experience for sure. And any artist I've ever met always says, "There's nothing like hearing your songs on the radio." So
It
thank
does
you
not
for this.
get old ever. I just had one
Never.
today, and the DJ actually sent it to me, and I'm like, oh, it's getting play, and it's just a
Yeah.
wonderful feeling. So let's hear the first song.
I'm alive tonight. There's nothing I can't do. A human satellite beaming straight for you. A little money in our pockets, less time on our side. Take my hand, let's take our hearts for a ride. You and me, baby, we hold the key to something out of sight. Me and you, all that we gotta do, put it into gear and drive. We're burning moonlight, burning moonlight, burning moonlight. Now the day is gone, the stars light up the sky. This night was custom made for you and I. Sure as there's a night and a day, the sun is gonna rise. But I ain't giving up, 'cause I can't get enough of the starlight in your eyes. We're burning moonlight, burning moonlight, burning moonlight, burning moonlight. 2, 3, 4. Another chance for a perfect romance, nowhere else in sight. Don't hesitate, 'cause these moments won't wait, and it's never been so right. The burning moonlight, burning moonlight, burning moonlight, we're burning moonlight, we're burning moonlight, burning moonlight, burning moonlight.
I'm doing air guitar right with you. I'm just like,
I forgot about the intro. I didn't realize that was still on there, but that was a very good friend of mine that actually passed away just before the show, about a month prior, in a tragic car accident. And the gentleman you see playing that guitar was the producer, and he came up to fill in for him so that we could do the show. So I'm glad that got aired, because we miss him dearly.
yeah, I know what that's like. It's an emptiness when I had a songwriting that I was, fly a lot of ideas off of, and it's just like you've lost an appendage, part of your musical soul. So I'm glad someone was
Yeah,
able
he
to
was my
do it.
right hand. Like he was such a good guitar player. Yeah, like he was such a good player. I could go anywhere with him, and he was that second guitar that made me sound good, and I didn't have to play constantly. And we just we got ourselves into lots of trouble, and we just became really good pals. But unfortunately, we didn't get to finish it off. But anyway.
Yeah, that musical connection. I think, the musicians you play with and your producer, to me, it's almost as important as your marriage, as your relationships. There's that strong connection that you have that's hard to explain to,
Yeah.
to non-musical folk. But this is a
Yeah.
musical community, so I think everyone like kind of gets it. Which kind
Exactly.
of leads into the next song, um, which talks a little bit more about springtime in Nashville. And to me, that song is about like the duality
Yeah.
of
Well,
how
what?
hard it is to keep a relationship and be in the music business. Did I read that right?
Well, that's certainly, yeah. I think you nailed it there for sure, Randy. I was in Nashville recording an album with a band that I was with at the time, and I was playing drums and writing songs. We had multiple songwriters in the group, and we'd just gone down. It was the first time I'd ever been to Nashville, and if anybody's ever been there at all, they realize the first time is a real kick in the head. It really shakes you up as a musician because a lot happens in a very short period of time.
Right.
And I I wrote the song flying in the day we were going to go to record, and the thought was we go, my God, like I hope this does well. I hope that we create something good here. We're spending a lot of money, a lot of time um, to come down here, be away from our families. I really wanted it to go well. And then I thought about what the consequences of really going well would be. And I've just seen so many artists, and it doesn't matter who they are. I use Phil Collins as an example. The man's been divorced 4 times,
Mm.
probably one of the great artists of our time. But I can almost guarantee that any example I can show you of somebody that is um, doing what people would consider a dream come true. Well, let's just say that, one would think, wow, to be Phil Collins, wouldn't that be something? Or wouldn't it be something to be Chris Stapleton? Or would it be
Mm.
something to be Taylor Swift? And I can guarantee in the time I've been in this industry that every one of those people has either paid, is paying, or is going to pay a price for that fame and for that fortune. I've always said, fortune is the prize and fame is the price. Um, After you've been on your first uh, uh, after you've been on your first private jet and you've been on your first tour bus and you've stayed in the nicest hotels, I mean, it's just all the same, and it's time away from your family, and it's a commitment, it's a pressure thing. And so I thought of the worst case scenario of
Mhm.
what could happen if this was to all work out and I was going to get everything I thought I wanted. And but what price was I going to have to pay? Because inevitably, it is absolutely for sure that everybody has.
Right.
Nobody gets out of this for free.
Right. My
That's it.
hero is Pat Benatar.
Oh, absolutely.
One, because she's classy, has killer chops, you know, great songs, all of that, and managed to have a musical relationship, with Spider,
Yeah.
and it's so rare. And here you are, you started so young, you can't imagine doing anything else, but yet there's always looming the price of things.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just from my experience, everybody has to realize that there will be a price to pay eventually. And that's when you look at those people and truly respect them even more for their decision to make that sacrifice. And maybe not some of them, because I mean, we've heard some terrible stories of people that haven't been great fathers or great mothers, or haven't been good friends. And certainly this industry and this love for music and this desire for that golden ring can get all consuming, and you can start making some really bad decisions very quickly. And I've made some of them already. I bounced back from them, but I certainly made some that I regret. I wasn't as good to some of my friends, and I don't think I made some of the right choices I could have made in the pursuit of what I'm trying to accomplish. I think with time and a little, some gained wisdom, you realize there's a balance you can strike where you can reach for that goal, and it doesn't have to cost somebody else a price. So, or even yourself.
I think it takes some learning in this business. Again, you have such different goals when you first start out.
Yeah.
And that changes when you realize it really is about the song. It really is about the music, that your priorities really do start to shift a little in what you're doing, how you're presenting it, and how you appreciate your fans.
Well, my goal is to have the longest funeral in history, because I'm going to make everybody listen to every song I ever wrote before they leave. So they're going to walk in, we're going to close the doors and say, I hope you guys had lunch, because this is going to be one.
Oh, I love that. And we do have some fans watching now. Tara also loves Pat Benatar, so we have some fans there.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
well, she's still doing it.
Yep.
She's still rocking it out, and she's still nailing it. I saw some video footage of her and Neil. Just, they figured it out. So
they did. I saw her a year ago. No, I'm not even gonna say that. It was pre-COVID, like right before COVID hit, in Montclair, Wellmont Theater, a small little theater. So it was very intimate. Yeah, like you could almost like touch her, and phenomenal. Hasn't lost a note in her voice, and yeah. I can't say that, so admire, a lot of respect for, the ladies in the genre. So why don't we take a listen to Spring in Nashville? Springtime in Nashville.
Flew into Nashville on a midnight plane. Ain't it funny how those city lights all look the same? Saw a man at the carousel with his little girl, and I thought how far away I was from my whole world. Sure appreciate the letters, pictures help to see me through, but most nights are worse than better, 'cause it's springtime in Nashville, and I'm missing you. Joe knocked him dead at last night's show. Well, that's 10 down, 20 more to go. Saw a woman in the crowd singing with her son, and I thought how much I must have grown since I've been gone. Tell myself, don't forget her, and I'll be with you someday soon. But most nights are worse than better, 'cause it's springtime in Nashville, and I'm missing you. Those lonely nights go on forever, and those pictures have faded too. And you don't send me no more letters, 'cause it's springtime in Nashville, and I'm
Okay, we're back. This is Randie O'Neil. We're on the ranch with Randie, with me. And I'm here with CC Brooks, who's hailing from Fort St. John, British Columbia. And we have a bit of a time difference, though. It's what, like 5 o'clock there?
Yeah, just about. Just about happy hour.
Yep. So again, we're talking about, the reach of country music kind of around the world. So this was, kind of a great place to start, our northern neighbors. So let's talk about, the Nashville angle of things. Now you split time in Nashville?
Well, I get there whenever I can. Obviously, the global situation as of late, especially a couple of years ago, challenged that. And I've got other things that I have to do. So I'm not there as much as I'd like to be. But whenever I do go there, it is truly, it's kind of like going to the gas station. You fill up. You just fill up with it. You go there and you just go, all right, yeah, because everybody, you're there for 2-3 weeks, and every person you talk to is just in it. Any guy that's driving an Uber, he's writing a song. Anybody's delivering you the French fries,
right?
Man, they're in a band, and so you go, yeah, okay, that's right. We are, smarten up. And I tend to be very creative when I'm there. Actually, it's almost been a year since I've been there, but that last tune that you heard, it was kind of a birthday present for myself. We went down to visit with a new friend of ours, actually, but Larry Rogers, Larry the Blade Rogers. Amazing history. This man, he owns a studio called Studio 19. It's in Franklin, Tennessee, and Franklin's only about 25 minutes from our place. Beautiful, serene little town. And Larry's got a credit sheet that's pretty long, and it's pretty impressive. And we met him through a good friend of mine, Paul Farrow, who'd been doing some work with him, and we just started to become friends. And I really felt it was important that I go work in this studio with him. And he's retired from producing, but I dragged him out for these 3 songs, and he put together a list of musicians once again that he really trusted, and he felt the music very, very strongly. And one thing that he did that I've never seen anybody do was, instead of playing a demo track and giving them the sheets, he had me play the song live for them. And it was quite a little nerve-wracking because very quality people here. They've heard a lot, and I kind of get over it pretty quick and go, hey, I'm here, I'm the customer, do your best. And it really did help once again deliver that direct product of what I heard in my head. And so
it's interesting. I've heard other people that have gone to Nashville to record, and how different the process is. Like you said, they usually get a track to play with, but I've heard some people almost, doing live tracks like that. They're kind of just jamming on it and then recording, and it's kind of a natural.
Yeah, well, they go through, they'll hear a demo, and then they'll just say, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the talent there is ridiculous. So they'll hear it once. The second time, they're pouring a coffee and telling a joke, and then they just go in and play it. And it's truly amazing to watch. But at the same time, if you're not sure what you want, that's when that idea can go. It can take off on you.
Right.
You'll have 6 or 7 musicians. We're all playing live off the floor, and it's all happening fairly quickly. It's not an unlimited budget thing, and you've got a day to get this done. So if you can't communicate, or for any reason you're not happy with where it's steering, and you can't communicate properly to them which way you want it to go, you can be out of luck. And these gentlemen completely nailed it, and just it was so thrilling once it was my turn to sing the songs at the end of the day. Once all the tracks are done, now it's my chance to put my final vocal on it. I'm so giddy, because it's like, I cannot believe that they got me. They got exactly what I wanted out of this. So in this body of 3 songs that are going to be coming out over this next year are all from Studio 19, and I'm just really, really proud of what happened there on that day. And like I said, it was a really good day in Nashville for me. I had my wife, I had some of my friends come into the studio, and they were allowed to watch the process. And I got to admit, I do like an audience. It helps. So
Hmm.
everybody who's sitting there watching this happen, people had never seen anything like this before, and they were just dazzled by the sheer um, the speed and the quality and the way everything just comes together. And it's just a real buzz for me. So anytime I can come up with an excuse to go to Nashville, I'm going. And I anybody that's in the music business, any type of music, it's just one of those great cities. And there's other great cities too. Memphis is fantastic. Austin is beautiful. But
Austin has a great music scene too. One thing that I was concerned about with Nashville, because I'm part of the Nashville songwriters, and I played Nashville, but I was actually surprised when I'm walking down Broad Street that it's not original music. You have to go off the strip. If you want to hear original music, you have to know where to go, because you're not allowed to play cover originals on the strip. On Broad Street, you can actually get yourself banned.
Yeah, I find if you go on the Monday mornings and the Tuesday mornings and you go up into the rooftop things where the single acts and stuff are going on, you'll see a lot more of that. And some of my friends do that for a living, and I admire how they can put in a full shift there. You know, 10 to 2, 2 to 6, 6 to 10, 10 to 2. I know guys that do entire days there. They will work 16 hours to make a living, and they will play those cover songs over and over again. Now, all those guys will also be working in a studio the next day with some of the great players, some of the great artists as well, because they're professional musicians. So they take the bitter with the better, I suppose. But yeah, you do have to, if you're going to go, if you're going to search out the places like Third and Lindsley or the Bluebird or what used to be Douglas Corner, where people are just playing their original music, it takes it takes a little time to find those hidden gems, but they're everywhere too. So I can go any night of week. I can go there with my guitar and I can go and play one of my songs, and that's you can't say that about every city in the country. So it's
Right,
certainly my go-to.
right. There's definitely a vibe about Nashville. I was only there for a short period. I actually like Knoxville a lot.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's
uh,
hard to find a salad, but everything else is absolutely fantastic. They're a little. I'd say they're protein forward in their menu, but I'm
that's right.
okay with it, man. I have a salad when I get back to town. Yeah.
I just moved to Pennsylvania. I was from here, but I haven't lived here for 30 years, and I forgot how much they fry food, in Pennsylvania, and it's just like
It is an art. It's
I
an art
just
form.
vegetables, please, vegetables. Like they
Yeah.
think corn is a vegetable.
Oh, yeah. The first time I went into a Cracker Barrel, we were dying for some vegetables. We hadn't had any. And then another thing about if you ever go to Nashville, remember to eat, because that will somehow just slips off your plate. You're kind of like, oh, we got to go do this. We got to do this. Oh, we don't have much time. And it's like, when's the last time we had something to eat? So we went into this place and they rave about these Cracker Barrels. And I don't mean to slag Cracker Barrel. It's just not my thing. I'd much rather go to a Waffle House, but that's just what you got to do. And we said, well, let's try the okra. Well, they just deep fry that too.
I gotta say, between the Waffle House and Cracker Barrel, there's not a whole lot of nutrition like going on. It's a hazard of being on the road. Like there's a Waffle House at like every couple of miles. You can't miss them.
You got to have Nashville pants and other place pants, because it gets it can get a little robust in the calorie department for sure. But.
Yeah, and you're sitting a lot. You're driving, if you're really on the road, there's a lot of downtime, and it's like these calorie laden foods. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's all good. We're getting into your next song, which is "Send Me a Song." Can we talk a little bit about your song process? Is there one?
Yeah.
Do you take time every day, or just wait for things to come to you?
I almost always start with lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lazy. I don't work nearly as much as I should, but I also, like I say, I do other things besides. I don't make a living writing songs yet, so it has to be when time is available. Uh, I think I start lyrically almost a lot of the times. It's mostly a lyric that I find catchy or interesting, and then the music kind of comes from that. As of late, I got this really cool thing called Aspire, and right here, it's like a little 8 track. It's just a little 8 track studio,
Oh my goodness.
and
Aspire.
it's
I'm
an
writing that
amazing
down.
thing. 2 inputs. It's wireless, and so since I got this, I found that I put a lot more music down, and then I can put a vocal track down to it. I can share it to somebody. They can put a track on it. So that's driven me a little more musically to start things more musically, because I'll just sit there and noodle on a Sunday. There's somewhere on this. There's a really good one. I've got this song called Country Rain, and I was just recording this with no mic or no input jack, and I was on my back deck, and you could hear the rain in the background of the track, and those sort of things inspire the lyric, and it inspires the tone and the sonic value of the whole thing. And
Right.
so yeah, that's where I lend to. Once again, I do have a trouble writing. I don't write as many upbeat songs as I'd like to, although this last batch, uh I'm just working on this new song called Drink Broadway Dry. That's a real, it's a toe tapper, and got a few more like that. So hopefully in the next time we talk, there'll be much more. We're gonna concentrate on some more upbeat
Yeah.
music.
Happy upbeat songs are hard. I I try to include one, like the one I wrote, "Shine." I want you to shine, shine, shine. Um, you
Yeah.
gotta, you have to be in that mindset that's happy. And I tend to write more when I'm down, and I just broke up with somebody, and you jerk, you ass, and you're off and running.
Yeah.
It's you're
Yeah.
I'm
You're
in more
Taylor
of that
Swift in it. Yeah.
mindset. Yeah. These
Yeah.
happy songs, and they do well, happy songs, because there's so few of them.
Well, it is. They say, the psychologists say that the depressed state is the most creative, and that's why painters, comedians, man, well, there's a depressed bunch, and that's ironic. But yeah, comedians have a heck of a time with that, because everybody thinks they're funny, but most of their creativeness was brought
From
through
depression.
through some form of lesson, through some sort of form of depression. Yeah.
I'm gonna couch that, because I am a psychologist, like another world, like that
Oh,
was
okay.
my profession. Anxiety, on the
Oh,
other
okay.
hand, anxiety is a creativity killer, because you're in a different part of your brain. You're in your amygdala. You have to
Oh,
be in your cortex brain stuff here to actually be
really?
creative. That's where your personality lives. So you can be there when you're depressed, but if you're anxious a lot, like when COVID started, nobody was writing because they were anxious.
Mm.
Their fight, flight, or freeze takes over their amygdala, and their creativity was killed. You have to get back to your calm. You know, Usually when something bad happens, you kind of have to wait it out a little bit till you work through what that really means to you.
Huh. That's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, that fascinated me, all the brain stuff. And when I work with kids on anxiety, I actually, hey, this is your brain, and this is what happens. It's a biological process we're fighting here. So some of it helps, some of it
Mm.
doesn't. So
We're gonna have to take this offline. I might need a little more help than I
okay,
think. I
hey,
don't.
we can talk after. We can talk after. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Okay,
Well, send me a
that's
song.
great.
And the reason I was asking about your process, because send me a song. Is this about writer's block? Is this wishing for something else, a metaphor for something else? What was happening?
No, no, it's not metaphorical in any way, shape, or form. It is truly what I call it, the troubadour's prayer, because I think there isn't a artist, whether it be a painter, a singer, songwriter, I don't know, architect, whatever, that you don't wonder. There comes a day when the muse runs out on everybody. Um, there's some people that defy logic, like Springsteen. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Springsteen. he seems to be able to continue to create pertinent music that stays true to what he was, and he kind of slowly reinvents himself. I mean, the man just had a 74th birthday. He's on the road doing 4-hour shows, and yes, people would rather hear Born to Run. And when he does new songs, they don't get the attention, but the quality of the songs are there, and I listen to his songs. And I'm not knocking Sir Elton by any stretch of the imagination, but you look at someone like Elton John, who wrote, some of the greatest songs of our time, but they ran out on him. Like it wasn't there like it was, or so that sort of happened. So I always wonder, God, is this the last? Do I have anything left in me? And am I going to just keep writing songs, and are they going to be any good? Because just because you're writing songs doesn't mean there is a standard that you have to try to meet, and it has to strike a chord.
Right.
So yeah, I started playing this song at the beginning of every set I played, because it was easy to play, simple 3 chords, and it was kind of like my prayer to start the night. Like, please, if there's somebody listening, please let this go well, and let me do well, and let me represent myself as a songwriter, as an artist, accurately, and let it not be a disaster. And so, but really, that's why it's called the Troubadour's Prayer, because I think that everybody, whatever they believe in, I think that there's somebody that picks up that guitar and goes, I hope this is the one. Because wouldn't we all like to write that song
one
that our children and grandchildren? I mean, wouldn't you like to? I would have loved to written Hotel California. That would have come in real handy right now.
Well, and there's a lot of people listening, like Don Pierce, Billy Hill. A lot of people appreciating your music right now. So let's give Send Me a Song a listen.
Thank you, man.
I don't need diamonds or silver. Money never lasted that long. All that I asked of you 3 minutes ago, oh Lord, won't you send me a song? Send me a song. Send me a song about heartache. Send me a song about love. 'Cause I played every chord in my hand to get lucky. Could use a little help from above. A melody to make them cry. A lyric to get them by. A chorus so they'll all sing along. A fast one, a slow one, an old rock and roll one. Oh Lord, won't you send me a song? Something to make them remember, erase their regrets. That they've never heard before. Something they'll never forget. I don't need diamonds or silver. Money never lasted that long. All that I ask of you is 3 minutes ago. Oh Lord, won't you send me a song? Send me a song. Send me a song.
Oh, that was, I see why you open with that one. I really do. I really do. That was a good one.
Oh, thank you.
So, We played a few videos. We played a song. Has video changed, or what's your process with video? Do you enjoy video, or they're just?
I quite frankly just haven't gotten around to it. I've really, I've never done any real video to date. These lyric videos are put together by some good friends of mine, a gentleman named John Graham, and actually Burning Moonlight was put together by the acoustic guitar player's daughter as a project, and she did just such a great job of it. I'd love to. My next single coming up is a song called "Bridges I've Burned," and it's certainly got some imagery in it that I think would serve a good video well. So hopefully by the time that comes out, I'll have something to see.
Yeah.
But it is, it is another aspect. It's another aspect where you are not only just listening now, you're seeing, and that correlation between the image and the song. It's another art form that I don't have a lot of skill at. So it's important to me that I find people that can, once again, just like a good producer for your music, somebody you could find someone says, I see it, I feel it, I know what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Let's do this. And but if you can stack that all on top of each other, it's just greater for the enjoyment of the piece in general, right? So it's a great chance to add to the experience of that song that you've written.
Right. So and it adds kind of a visual, even the lyric video. I have a lot of people, because I've started always putting lyrics in whatever I'm doing, especially with video, and people thank me because it makes them easier for them to sing along, and they want to sing along. It really adds to their experience, even if, it is just a lyric video and things flashing in and out.
It's just another element that stimulates things in our brain and makes us feels closer to the song. I think, right. As long as, like you say, as long as you can capture, once again, you have to capture that essence visually, and you have to make sure you're on track there too.
Right.
So it's another skill.
And you don't want to do it like, sometimes I think my videos are too literal. And I want people to be open to it. Like, I don't want them to have such a hard image. I want them to go to different places with it too. So sometimes video kind of could lock them into something.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's also a chance to let people see what they might see if they saw you live. And I think that truly, I mean, there's just nothing like that, right? I think anytime I became a fan of a band, my latest fan craze is Lucas Nelson and the Promise of the Real. I love Lucas. I like his family. I like the whole story. I mean, it's Willie Nelson's son. Not a bad way to grow up, I'm sure. But and I really liked his music. And then I went and saw him live, and I'm just hooked. And it was the same thing with Springsteen. After the first time I saw Bruce, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah. Like doesn't Willie Nelson play in his son's band sometimes? I think they have Willie and family. Yeah. So they do that. And then Lucas has his own total thing he does by himself, and total organic artists that just sing hard, and and I think that's that visual aspect to get into you, right? Right.
So it's important.
I'm like you. I am for all about live music, but I know some generations go right to video, and there's so many different, when you're a musician, there's so many hats that you wear, there's such a visual aspect. Yeah, I know. It doesn't enough to play well, like there's a visual piece that people are looking for, but at the end of the day, I was at a Taxi Road rally. Have you ever heard of Taxi? They do sync licensing, but they have this huge convention once a year. And I went out there. It was in LA. And all Michael, who owns Taxi, kept saying is, it's all about the song. If you don't have a song, then, you don't have anything that you're marketing. It's really all about the song and connecting with people and building a relationship with people through a song.
I agree. I think that I think a fantastic video with a wonderful promotion and all those things, and a great team, putting that, and at the end, it's just not a good song. I think you can get a bad song can go quite a long ways with the right amount of influence. I just don't think it's something that anybody's going to be listening to in 5 years. Or when I listen to what my daughter listens to and what my nieces and nephews listen to, they listen to the same songs I've been listening to that all my whole life.
Right.
They're listening to the Eagles and they're listening to Chris Christopherson and Willie Nelson, and they're not, and lots of people have come and gone and written and been very successful. But
I'm showing some of your pictures now.
oh yeah, that's in the church. We found an old church about an hour and a half from my house. It was a great experience. Very moving to be in there all by ourselves, and nobody's in there anymore, and it's just in this quiet little community, and everyone came around to see what we were up to, and it was certainly there may be plans to do a video in that church because it's got a feel for sure.
Some good stuff happening here. We only have a couple more minutes.
Well, thank you so much, Randie. I really appreciate your time and giving me the time to get my songs heard on this format. I can't thank you enough.
I can't thank you enough for actually getting back to me. And, I really enjoyed the time and I thought it went well. Next week, I have Eric Summers coming up, who's kind of been a standard.
Well,
congrats. Forward to.
I've really enjoyed myself.
Which one? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
I just wanted to say congratulations on the ranch. I think it's a great format. It's a great chance for musicians to get their product out there. So
I was thrilled when it was offered. So we're now up and running. I thought you were a really great first guest. So I really do appreciate you hanging out up with me. And I hope to see you again when you have new stuff come in. You hit me up. I know we're looking around the image because I haven't quite figured out how to remove that.
That's all right. I think it's fun.
I know we're playing peekaboo now. This is funny because I figured out how to put them up there, and now I can't figure out how to get them back out. I love going live, don't you?
That's good. You keep it this way. You don't want to get too polished.
I know.
It'll lose some of that charm.
I know. Warts and all. That's what it is.
You bet. Doing the best we can with what we got, right?
That's what it is. All right, guys, you've been hanging out on the ranch with Randie O'Neil, and we've been here with CC Brooks. You see one of his great shots there. He's been in a church. We've had some great music. So I hope to see you guys here again Monday, 7 Eastern time. Again, thank you so much, CC. And let me say goodbye. I have to wave
Bye now.
I'm on the road, don't know where it's going.